You've probably heard the stories of planes vanishing, ships disappearing without a trace, and theories ranging from sea monsters to alien portals. Well, today, we are going to talk about what we know and what we don't know about the Bermuda Triangle. So first off, where exactly is the Bermuda Triangle? The Bermuda Triangle is located at a region in the North Atlantic Ocean, roughly shaped like a triangle, hence the name. It is bordered by 3 points: the southeastern coast of the U.S., the island of Bermuda, and then Puerto Rico. It is important to note that there's no official agreement on its exact boundaries. Depending on who you ask, the area could be anywhere from 500,000 square miles to over 1.5 million. You won't find the Bermuda Triangle labeled on any official world map. Not even the U.S. Board on Geographic Names recognizes it. So it's basically a legend with no formal stamp of approval. Some might ask, if there is no agreement on the boundaries, and the triangle isn't on any official world map, then where did the idea even come from? Even though the strange stories go back as far as the 1800s, the term Bermuda Triangle didn't show up until 1964, when a writer named Vincent Gaddis coined it in a pulp magazine article, where he described the area as a mysterious zone that had destroyed hundreds of ships and planes without a trace. Pretty dramatic, huh? And then in 1974, Charles Berlitz came along with his best-selling book, The Bermuda Triangle, and he took the mystery to the next level. He even tied it to the lost city of Atlantis. That book turned a little-known theory into a global obsession. Suddenly, the triangle was everywhere, from late-night talk shows to classroom debates.
Talking about, or why you would want to. When we come back, can you explain what that is?
Okay.
Oh, talking with Arthur Clarke. What is this about? What is a squared circle? It's a mathematical term, isn't it?
Yes, the idea is to make a square equal in area to a given circle. And it cannot be done using just a compass and a ruler, the basic Euclidean construction. There are many ways of doing it with more complicated mathematical tools, but it was proved in the last century that you can never construct a square equal in area to a given circle just with a compass and a ruler. You can get it as close as you like, but you can never get it exactly the same.
Well, I don't understand what the barrier is you run up against.
Well, it's one of these fundamental things.
But even at that, was there any actual disappearances? The short answer is yes. There have been several incidents, and some of them are truly baffling. A notable example was the USS Cyclops in 1918. This was a massive Navy collier carrying over 300 men that disappeared while en route from Brazil to Baltimore. Mind you, there was no storm, no distress signal, no wreckage found. It was as if the ship had simply vanished. Fast forward to 27 years later. Flight 19 in 1945 also happened. 5 U.S. Navy bombers went out on a routine training mission. The weather was clear, and the pilots were trained, but still they got lost, disoriented, and then disappeared. The rescue plane sent to find them also disappeared as well. That's 6 aircraft gone. Truly, these events really happened and were well reported. But here's the thing. Disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle don't happen more often than in other busy parts of the ocean. The Bermuda Triangle sees heavy daily traffic by both sea and air. It's one of the most traveled shipping lanes in the world. Hundreds of cargo ships, cruise liners, and planes cross this area every single week. With that kind of volume, occasional disappearances or accidents, although tragic, weren't exactly shocking. Still, the mystery persists, so let's talk about why. First, the weather. The triangle is right in the path of frequent tropical storms and hurricanes. These aren't just casual rain showers. These are very powerful, violent forces that can flip ships, disorient pilots, and wipe out radar communication in seconds. Then, there is also the Gulf Stream. It's a strong ocean current that flows from the Gulf of Mexico, through the Triangle, and out into the Atlantic. The Gulf Stream moves fast, up to 5.6 meters per hour, and it can cause sudden and dramatic changes in weather conditions. It can also sweep away debris or wreckage, which might explain why so many accidents in the area leave no trace behind. But there's more. Ever heard of magnetic anomalies? Well, you've probably heard that compasses act strange in the Bermuda Triangle. And that's partly true. But there's also something called the agonicline. The agonicline is an invisible line or place on the Earth where magnetic north and true north are exactly the same and aligns perfectly. Normally, when you use a compass, it points to magnetic north, which isn't the same as true north, leading towards the North Pole. In most places, you'd have to adjust for this difference, which is called magnetic declination. But along the agonic line, there's no need to adjust, because your compass points directly to true north. Over time, this line slowly shifted due to changes in Earth's magnetic field. In the early 20th century, it passed through the Bermuda Triangle, which we believe might have caused some navigational confusion back then, especially before GPS was invented. Add that to a brewing storm or a misread map, and you've got yourself a recipe for disaster. But what are the things we don't know about the triangle? The numbers. We don't actually know how many ships and planes have gone missing in the Bermuda Triangle. The most commonly stated estimate is around 50 ships and 20 aircraft. That might sound like a lot, but it's spread out over more than a century. And remember, the Bermuda Triangle is one of the most heavily traveled areas of ocean in the world. And so accidents, sadly, do happen. However, even these numbers are not based on solid records. Not every disappearance has been well documented, and some lost vessels were actually just late. Others were later found, damaged of course, but not exactly vanished into thin air. So what about the wreckage? In many cases, wreckage hasn't been recovered. That includes the Cyclops, Flight 19, and others. Is that suspicious? Maybe. But remember, some areas of the Bermuda Triangle include the deepest parts of the Atlantic Ocean, specifically the Milwaukee Depth, a part of the Puertoricotrench, which goes down over 27,000 feet. That's more than 8,300 meters deep. A ship or plane could sink thousands of feet before ever hitting the ocean floor. At that depth, recovering wreckage is nearly impossible. If a plane or ship goes down there, it's essentially lost forever. So yeah, retrieving wreckage is nearly impossible. But even with all these evidence, and when science has a solid explanation, the legend refuses to fade. Why? Because people love a good mystery. And when facts don't satisfy, imagination takes over, and wild theories spread. Some of these wild theories include alien abductions. This one's been a sci-fi favorite for decades. The idea? The Bermuda Triangle is a hotspot for UFOs. Ships and planes aren't sinking. They're being taken. Is there any proof? Not really. But that hasn't stopped it from becoming a pop culture classic. And then, there's also the Atlantis theory. This theory came from Charles Berlitz's famous 1974 book. He suggested the lost city of Atlantis wasn't just real, but still active under the ocean. He believed that powerful technology from that ancient civilization was messing with modern ships and planes. Far-fetched? Maybe. But it caught people's attention. Some say the Bermuda Triangle is a doorway to another dimension, a place where time bends, reality shifts, and things vanish only to return hours later. There are stories of compasses spinning, clocks stopping, and pilots blacking out only to reappear miles away. None of these theories are backed by science, but they keep the legend alive. Because let's be honest, we all love mysteries we can't explain. In all, most scientists agree, there's nothing uniquely dangerous about the Bermuda Triangle. The U.S. Coast Guard has repeatedly stated that the region's reputation is more about myth than measurable risk. In fact, in 2013, the World Wildlife Fund studied maritime danger zones worldwide, and the Bermuda Triangle didn't even make the list of the top 10 most dangerous bodies of water. So why the reputation, you ask? Big part of it comes down to how we tell stories. Be honest here, Flight 19 got lost and crashed due to pilot disorientation. Just doesn't sound as exciting as Flight 19 vanished into thin air under mysterious circumstances. We crave mystery. We thrive on the unexplained. And the Bermuda Triangle, it gives us just enough real tragedy, mixed with just enough unknown to keep our imaginations running. At the end of the day, the Bermuda Triangle is a fascinating case of real-world geography meeting human imagination. We know it's a heavily traveled area with unpredictable weather, deep ocean trenches, and a long history of maritime activity. We also know that accidents have happened there, and they happen in other parts of the ocean too. But most of all, we know the idea of the Bermuda Triangle has become larger than the region itself. But one thing's for sure though, the mystery isn't going away anytime soon. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more and more captivating deep dives. We'll see you next time.